the mayor of Gasokhanyana municipality and also an NEC member. The reason why I'm attending the workshop of the SALGA National Communications Forum is because municipalities must communicate effectively.
And make sure that communication is being taken as a professional function, not a by-the-way function.
I would learn more strategies on how to communicate effectively and efficiently and to our communities.
Very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to the 6th annual SALGA National Communicators Forum. For many of us, it's the first time back officially since COVID. So please give yourselves a round of applause.
Welcome back to SALGA TV. On this episode, we bring you highlights from the SALGA National Communicators Forum, which took place at the Cape Town International Convention Center on the 12th to the 14th of April 2023. The forum brought together communicators and stakeholders from across the country to discuss the crucial role of communication in service delivery. Here are some highlights that you can expect to see in this episode. The City of Cape Town's Deputy Mayor, Eddie Andrews, welcomed the 200-odd delegates to the world-renowned travel destination. SALGA Deputy President Kola Phakathi speaks about SALGA's commitment to supporting municipal communication. Acting Director General of the GCIS, Michael Curran, spoke on the importance and function of communications. And Google Chief Marketing Officer Mzamo Masito shared some digital and marketing trends for 2023. Launched in 2017, the SALGA National Communicators Forum is a peer learning platform for local government communicators. It aims to facilitate discussions surrounding challenges and best practices in the municipal communication space, as well as to build an interactive community of local government communicators. Up next, the City of Cape Town's Deputy Mayor, Eddie Andrews, welcomed the 200-odd delegates to the world-renowned travel destination.
My name is Eddie Andrews. I'm the Executive Deputy Mayor of the City of Cape Town. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you back. Welcome back. It's your first in-person event since we've seen the back end of COVID. And so welcome back. Welcome to our beautiful city, Cape Town. We are proud Cape Townians, and whenever we have these conferences in Cape Town, we always remind delegates and participants that we hope that you lose part of your heart right here in Cape Town. And if you have any desires to ensure that your visit becomes permanent, we are more than happy to have those discussions. There's a table right at the back there as you exit on day 3.
Deputy Mayor, thank you for having this chat with us. Having just addressed the SALGA National Communicators Forum, what would you say that the City of Cape Town's communication strength is, taking into consideration that it is a world-renowned travel destination?
Openness and transparency. I think that is what is important. Recognizing if there are any issues, one, and two, communicate a plan how we will remedy that particular concern and reverberate that message throughout the geographical footprint of the City of Cape Town. I think that has really stood us in good stead over the past years. And so people can see that we're genuinely sincere about locating Cape Town as a city of hope, where people can have hope for the future and actually come and enjoy what we have to offer right here in Cape Town.
Gorgeous city, that is.
It is 307 kilometers of pristine coastline, 21 nature reserves, 2 World Heritage sites. I can go on and on. Really proud to be staying in Cape Town.
One of the issues that the city continues to grapple with is the illegal occupation of land, which from my understanding really disintegrates the city's planning. How do you think that the communication function can be roped in as a strategic partner in educating the public on the effects of illegal land occupation?
Being on message in volume over time. I think our constitution is clear what the rights of private property owner or public sector is, and we've got to protect those rights, and whether it be by legal means, that's what we need to do. But also we've got to understand why people are unlawfully occupying land. So there's a desire to be accommodated with human settlements. And so we're trying to get those persons registered for a housing opportunity, also to have our caring package offered to them, whether it be a transitional space to stay in, where they have a bed, where they have 3 meals a day, where they have temporary employment, ablution facilities. That's the plan. And of course, the strategic communication aspect of it is important so people know what you're doing, because all of this won't just happen overnight. It will take some time, but you've got to highlight the successes, highlight the overall plan, and those milestones you've achieved to communicate that to your constituents.
Definitely. Deputy Mayor, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for having this chat with us.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the conference and all that Cape Town has to offer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm hoping that out of this, we can get a lot of liaison skills and abilities on how we can further put good word of our work being done in municipalities.
As government, if we're not talking our stories, nobody will talk about us. So if it is taken by the offices like that I've talked about, that of a political nature, then it means then everything will be known by the public.
I am here, expectations are very high to learn and to learn from others. We understand good practices are things that we should be sharing, all of us. So
I'm just here to grow, I'm here to learn, so yeah.
Up next, SALGA TV correspondent Dibandlela Nkume catches up with Michael Curran, Acting Director General of GCIS.
Government communication, strategic government communication, it's not about what our friends in the private sector do. It's not about marketing a beverage or selling a brand. It's about holding the well-being of a nation in your hands.
Thank you very much, Michael. You are indicating that you are at a level of executive, obviously acting DG of Government Communication and Information System. You must be a busy man, but you've taken time off to come and be part of this session. What are your expectations of this session?
You know, I did prioritize this, I must be honest with you. Sivo invited me a while ago and I put it down and said, this one I can't miss. Because you see, you have national structures, you have provincial structures, but the place where our communities and our South Africans interface with government at the most direct way is in municipalities. And I thought it's very critical to be part of this place where, I like the logic that some of the delegates are raising there, as Mr. Joel, the CEO, is asking, what do you want to do here? What do you want to achieve here? And the answer a lot of them are giving is like the word that we used to use, and she says, sharpen the sword. So you see, we have professional discipline of government communication. We have courses you can study. We have people who went through training. But the most important thing is to be able to turn our practice from our daily realities into a discipline that works for the way in which we communicate with our people. So what does that mean? It means that part of my commitment and my passion for this particular event was to say it's very, very important that we look for homegrown solutions. If in Mpumalanga you've had experiences of service delivery protests, you understand the underlying causes of that, why can't you share those lessons with colleagues from other provinces? Why don't you give them some latitude for ideas? The old story that we hear in municipalities, but we don't have a big media footprint. We don't have big dailies like you do in the national, etc. There are a lot of colleagues in municipalities that have established very solid cycles with the community media.
Communication seems to be a challenge in the space of local municipalities. You will recall that they're operating in a highly politicized environment. So what would you say are the core impeding factors to the effective use of communication in local government, specifically in municipalities?
Well, I think the first thing we have to accept as reality is that generally, we haven't invested enough in communication, whether it's in human resources or whether it's in media buying, And I think one of the first things is to really take ownership. And I think if I hear the Deputy President, Councillor Pagati from Eastern Cape speaking now, the Deputy President of SALGA, and the COO, Mr. Joel, when I hear them speaking now, I feel very encouraged that he said that we understand communication is core to service delivery. So I think that challenge that's been there, I'm hoping we're starting to turn the tide on that one.
Mr. Curran, thank you very much for coming to share your wisdom and your knowledge around the issues of communication in the space of local government.
We are not being taken serious as communicators. My former colleague also said, we are just taking pictures, hanging banners, and being reactive when politicians are saying there's a problem somewhere. We are not proactive.
Being informed, we don't get the budget, we must always fight. But how do we fight for money if we can't, provide evidence? So if we have this evidence, the data that we could show them and say, listen, this is how we reach people, this is what we do, this is how we change behaviors, etc. That is how we then get our budget.
SALGA views the communication function as a catalyst in service delivery and encourages municipalities to recognize the function as a strategic partner. Now let's take a look at some of the highlights from the address by SALGA Deputy President Gola Phakat.
SALGA, we support the creation of platforms such as this that will determine local government stories and change the current negative narrative in the public domain. Communication is an extremely essential tool at the hands of local government that needs to be effectively utilized. As local government communicators, we should not leave the media to tell local government stories. Instead, there should be continuous interaction and communication with citizens, ensuring that citizens understand the vision of local government.
Councillor Phakat, thank you for having this conversation with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Talk us through the importance of government communication, taking into consideration local government and why they need to be able to effectively communicate with their citizens.
Well, our view as SALGA is that effective communication is a very critical ingredient in the work that we do with the communities. If we are able to keep the communities informed of what we are doing every day, over and above the physical consultations that we do with them, is in the interest of all of us. Because in some instances, when citizenry is not informed, it is then private to perceptions. But if you have people knowing very well the developmental trajectory that the municipality is pursuing, the better for the municipality and the people. But also it closes the trust deficit between citizenry and the municipalities. So communication is a very critical ingredient in the work that we do.
Communication in its nature is a strategic function, but more often than not, it doesn't receive the required support for it to perform optimally. What can SALGA and its sector stakeholders do to better the situation?
I think the point that we were making in our submission in this gathering is that the political leadership in municipalities must prioritize communication in order for them to ensure that their citizens are informed. It should not be a by-the-way exercise based on an event or when there is an unrest or a service delivery protest, or to spin. What is more important is to have what I call proactive communication, where decisions of the municipality are communicated, service delivery issues are communicated, so that you mitigate the possibility of the service delivery protests that we see today. In many instances, such protests are arising out of the fact that people do not have information.
And lastly, Councillor Phakat, what is your message of support to municipal communicators?
My message of support is that they must keep on telling the good story of service delivery to the people. Even when that is not the case, they must not be afraid to communicate to people as and when there are challenges with regards to such matters, because an informed citizenry is better to deal with than the people that are not informed.
Google Chief Marketing Officer Mzamo Masido shared some digital and marketing trends, and we had the chance to briefly engage with him.
Desk is a dangerous place to view the world. Even if you're a great communicator, you still need to go out there and talk to real people. And that's what we do every day. So I'm out there Actually, this morning at 6:30 a.m., I went to the taxi rank before coming here. And I was looking at people's phones, just asking, what phone are you using? Why are you using this phone? How does it work? Let me see the memory. Let me see battery life, all of that. That's how we get to know the people that we serve. But a desk is truly a dangerous place to view the world.
Nzamo, talk us through how digital transformation will aid aspects of municipal communication, government communication, and really improve on how government communicates with citizens.
It will definitely, what digital will do well is complement the great talent that exists within government municipalities. So it is not there to replace the great talent, but rather to complement the great talent. And it does that by deeply understanding the end user, because we are all here to honorably serve the end user. And in this way, what it does then is we can now generate content that is video-centric, that is visual-centric, that is audio-centric, that is also able to be translated to various multiple mother tongues. So we can now move not only just using English as a medium of communication to South Africans whom only less than 8% of South Africans speak English as first language at home. And now with technology, we can be able to democratize content via multiple ways of speaking, the way South Africans speak. If there's 11 official languages, we should be able to communicate that same content in 11 official languages. And with technology, we can even regional locate content. Someone who's sitting here in Khayelitsha should not be getting content that doesn't apply to them. It should be content that is geo-located for them. Whereas someone who's sitting in anywhere else in the Eastern Cape or Limpopo should get content that applies to them. And then there's generic content that applies nationally. That is the power of technology, that you can customize content to individuals, customize it to smaller segments, customize it to a municipality, and customize it to the nation.
Any transformation obviously requires some sort of skills upgrade. There is a skills gap, I think, in digital transformation. What is it that you think that government, together with stakeholders such as yourselves, can do to try and improve on the skills that are required to accommodate this transformation?
You are definitely right. One of the biggest needs is digital literacy and digital skills upskilling. And one of the things that, for example, Google does is Google Career Certificates, where in partnership with government can encourage and nudge its employees to use Google Career Certificates to improve their IT skills, to improve their digital skills, and also get certified. So there are a lot of content online that exist that can help even government employees who might not have the time to go back to school and do a 1 year, 2 year. There are now short courses that you can even do online that will help you improve your digital skills. There's a lot of partnership that needs to happen between government, civil society, and private sector, where we can be able to empower everyday citizens to become digital savvy and also empower government employees to become digital literate.
Change is often overwhelming, scary at most. So what would your advice be to someone who's a communicator in a remote rural municipality somewhere that is now expected now to come in and adopt all of these technologies that are coming in?
Since we are not aiming for perfection, what we are aiming for is progress. So what matters is incremental evolutionary progress. So actually, no one is being asked to become an expert in AI tomorrow. No one. All we're asking is develop basic appreciation so that you are able to ask the right questions. You might not be the one that is using or the specialist, but even if you work in partnership with your digital team, you still need to be able to ask the right questions. So the best thing for me is always start small, learn small, bite sizes, learn at your pace, learn and then apply. The only way we're gonna learn anyway, 70% of our learning is on the job. Just experiment, fail fast. I think what also is needed though is that the government offices, same as private sector, there should be high tolerance for failure. And people should not be scared for failing, making mistakes. There should be a lot more increased tolerance for people making mistakes, people failing. We encourage it as long as people are learning from it and improving. And we're not going to demand perfection. We're going to demand progress.
Thank you so much, Mzamo. That's all we had time for today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Obviously, you are a media officer in that organization, and your mayor comes and says, go and talk to those people, they must withdraw. They must retract. You go to the ombudsman will tell you, but no, there's nothing wrong. And an ordinary member of the public doesn't know that headline in terms of the context. So the point here, colleagues, is it's very excellent that, constantly you need to speak as if, whatever you say is going to make a headline.
Engage early, continue the dialogue. So we're talking about in this new era, when we're talking about the digital era, where a lot of, sometimes the physical things are not always the most effective, and sometimes we have to find other ways to engage. Engage on social media, make sure you host online meetings and workshops, and aim for a two-way advocacy.
Well, it's day 2. We have learned quite a lot from commissions. So I'm getting a lot of, gaining a lot of knowledge from these conferences.
This forum has been very much educative, very enlightening. I'm very excited and very thankful for being here.
After getting into this forum, I knew it is possible that we can explore the space of YouTube. We can explore the space of TikTok, because majority of our people, they're not interested in reading. They want to see and hear the voices of the political principals.
When I came here, I thought it was only social media that is powerful, but I also learned that there are also podcasts that we can utilize to spread information to the respective areas that we represent.
It has been a very informative session. There's been very informative sessions, particularly on the exposure to the new trends of communication, to the new platforms that we can tap into in order to maximize our communication efforts.
The thing that I take away is that as much as we move forward in the 4th Industrial Revolution, we also need to stick to the basics and make sure that the content that we are actually giving, the messages that we actually are giving our communities, that there's purpose behind it, and that we know what we want to say and who we want to say it to, and remembering that after all, as a government, we are here to serve the people.
The SALGA National Communicators Forum brought together communicators and stakeholders from across South Africa to discuss the vital role that communication plays in service delivery. The forum emphasized on the importance of effective communication in building trust with citizens and managing stakeholder relationships. Most importantly, the forum highlighted the importance of effective communication in achieving the goals of local government. That's all we had for this episode. For regular updates on local government developments, please follow our social media pages. Until next time, from me, your host, Meralda Nisalega Mnandi.